Hey everyone, Newman here with 910. Today we will be going over the trigger assembly on a Wildcat, on FX Wildcat. This has been the same for the Wildcat Mark I, for the Mark II, and the Mark III. I will show how to take off the stock to access the entire trigger assembly, and I will show how to go through the different adjustments of the trigger, which are back here. This is just where you're pulling on it, but it's actually a linkage system because it's a bullpup. So now we have the rifle in a vise. In order to take off the stock, we're going to be taking out these two screws right here. As you can tell, this is an awkward reach right here. So we'll need a ball end, and it will be a 3mm for both screws. So once both screws are backed out, you see they're loose. We don't need to take them out though. The whole stock will just lift up just like so. Now we can set that over to the side. Now that we got the stock off, now we can see the trigger assembly better. As you can see here, here's the trigger shoe or trigger blade and the trigger post. That follows the linkage system down to the L connection and to the actual trigger base with the adjustments on it. These linkage attachment points are Loctited with a very heavy-duty Loctite from the factory, so I would not recommend adjusting those unless absolutely necessary because they are set for the proper function of the rifle. They will never come out of adjustment or anything like that unless they're tampered with. What that does, that affects the position of the trigger post, whether it's leaning forward or leaning back. But that's also then affected by the alignment of the chassis here, or the barrel and tube supports. If the barrel and tube supports are too far back and too far forward, the trigger will be faced either forward or backwards. But that's also going to throw off the stock attachment point, so you will more than likely know whenever it's out of alignment, other than just the trigger itself. Nevertheless, there's no adjustments to be made up here really. You can adjust the trigger post, obviously rotate it or replace it if you want to, but the real adjustments are back here. So we're going to zoom in a little bit more. I'm going to show you some more detail on these. Okay, so now we're down here to the trigger. Again, the rifle's upside down. As you can see, this is the regulator port side. You can use this screw right here to degas the rifle if necessary, or to install a regulator gauge on a Mark I or Mark II. The Mark IIIs come with the regulator gauge right there already, but on the Mark I or the Mark II, you won't be able to put the stock on with that gauge there unless you cut the stock. We're back to the trigger. You can see here the multiple trigger screws and adjustments here. I'm going to go through each one explaining. These two screws up here are what connect to the L linkage, so that whenever you pull and cock the rifle, whenever you pull the trigger, you can see that's what's pressing up. So the first screw affects your second stage of the trigger pull, and the second screw affects the first stage of the trigger pull. We'll go over how to adjust those a little bit later in the video. Your third screw here, this is just the trigger wheel attachment, so that's how the trigger base is attached to the trigger wheel. See, here's the pin for the trigger wheel, and that's how it pivots. Your next screw back here, the fourth screw, that's just your spring screw. All that's doing is holding the trigger spring in place. The fifth screw is a over adjustment screw, so if you have too much over travel in the trigger, you can turn this in to stop any over travel. So essentially, as soon as you break the trigger, as soon as it breaks through, you can have this screw set to where you don't get any more travel after breaking the trigger. The last screw is not technically part of the trigger, but it is the safety. This is how you adjust the safety right here. If the safety is not engaging, then this screw needs to be turned counterclockwise to back it out, so that whenever the trigger's trying to press down, it presses against the safety screw. See, so it's rotating right now. If I put it on safe, it can't press down. Most Wildcats will have it adjusted to where you cannot put it on safe unless the rifle is cocked. So this bar has to tilt up before the safety screw can slide under. This is my personal rifle, so I'll have it adjusted to where I can always put it on safe no matter what. Working a little bit backwards here, these two screws, or I guess three screws, will not affect the trigger pull on how the overall trigger pull feels. The last screw, or the 5th screw here, will affect how the after pull feels, but not the initial pull. That's only these 2 screws. So back to these 2 screws here. They're going to use a 1.5 millimeter hex in order to adjust. And I do recommend getting a nice hex drive to do this with, because they're more than likely Loctited, but it'll be a blue Loctite, so they won't be too hard to break through. So right now, when I cock this back and I pull the trigger here, you can see it move. So that's the first stage, and then second stage, and it breaks. So watch this linkage right here. I click on the trigger, so first stage, and then it breaks. That's the second stage. So just to show a little bit more, whenever I cock the rifle, that's my first stage travel. You can see how back here it is slightly moving. That's my first stage. That is the L piece, the L connection, coming up and contacting the first screw, as it is already having contact with the second screw, which is making the first stage wait or travel, depending on how far in and out that first or that second screw is. For instance, I'm going to adjust it. Firstly, I'm going to decock the rifle. If I pull this out and I cock it back, I have no first stage, because by the time it comes, it's already touching the second stage screw. But if I turn it in more, it won't cock at all. That's because the balance between these 2 screws have to be in harmony. So I'm going to back this screw out, and I'm going to back the first screw out, which is supposed to adjust the second stage. But what you'll notice here is that I have no first stage, and I have a very heavy second stage. So turn that screw back in a little bit more to try to measure them up. I'm back to the light first stage and the solid second stage. So again, it's just going to take some playing back and forth in order to get the adjustments separate, or get the individual adjustments on these 2 screws. But again, the first screw is the second stage, and the second screw is the first stage. So let's see if I come a little bit farther out on this one. It's going to give me a long first stage and the solid second stage. If I come out another turn, quarter turn, gives me a very long first stage, but a snappy second stage. If I come out some more, I lose my first stage. That's because the trigger is coming in contact with the second stage screw before it does the first stage. So let me back out the second stage screw some more. Look how loose that first stage is now. That's gross. It almost has another stage in there now before it breaks for the second stage. Turn that in a little bit. And then I have a 3-stage almost, so like a loose first. And that's it contacting the second stage screw first. And then it breaks. To return it back to a normal trigger, I'm going to turn that in a couple turns. I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to zoom in for this part. So now that we're zoomed in a bit, you can see that these 2 screws, this one is just a little bit taller than that one. So I'm going to go cock the rifle. You see it drop down. A very small first stage and a nice solid second stage. So that's approximately what you want your screws to look like. Every trigger is going to be a little bit different, but essentially the first screw will be a little bit taller than the second screw in order to get that nice two-stage trigger. If I want to take some out of the first stage, I'll screw that in slightly to where I have barely any first stage now, and a nice solid second stage. And then I can turn in the second stage a little bit more. And it gets heavier, but it gets more snappy for the second stage. Want a lighter second stage. I'm going to back that out. And at this point, I've thrown the balance out of the whack to where the sear does not even want to engage. So, turn this back in, about right there. You see there, that screw is just a little bit taller than that one. Cock it back, a little bit of play, and it snaps. So, let me pull this one out. And that one a little bit. So see now, there again, a little bit of balance, good little bit of first stage, and a nice solid second stage. Alright, well thank you for watching the video. I hope this was helpful. I hope I was able to explain and show some differences in the Wildcat trigger on the adjustments it makes and how to affect the play of the trigger, as well as affecting the first and second stage. Hopefully this will help you troubleshoot if your trigger comes out of adjustment, or if you want to fine-tune the trigger to make it a different weight. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, ring the bell for more notifications. If you would like to leave a comment, please leave in the comment section below or shoot me an email. My email and website are also in the description below, as well as all my social media. As always, happy shooting.